Hey, what's going on? Bottom to the top hoops.
You already know, Black Elvis, we in the building.
Yo, L, man, we got another great show lined up, man. First of all, big shout out to the sponsors. Big shout out to everybody subscribing, checking us out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple TV, bcomtv.com. Yo, man, we working.
We working.
Yo, L, man, I know you got a lot of dope projects coming up. Speak to that, man, everything you're working on, decisions, the new episode.
Yeah, decisions, we definitely cooking.
Yeah, it is.
Got a couple other projects we writing out, we just trying to keep it going, doing what a production company supposed to do.
That's what it is, man. Definitely peace and blessings to that. So, man, we talking about the NBA Finals. Obviously, the Lakers showing their dominance early, taking a 2-0 lead, and it just seemed like they were going to run away from Miami, and then something shifted. What did you see in the first 3 games so far, L, that either gives you the confidence to know that LA is just going to do what they do and take it in 5, or Miami actually might have a shot? What's your initial take on these first 3 games?
Yeah, well, Portland had hope.
Right.
Then hope.
Right.
These guys are here for a reason.
Houston had hope.
Houston had hope.
Right.
But like I said, these are NBA ball players.
Right.
They are there for a reason. Therefore, they going to get one. I said that.
Oh, so you predicted 5.
I predicted that.
You Nostradamus. I forgot, bro. I forgot. You like Miss Cleo, man. Mr. Cleo.
Nah.
Mr. Cleo. But all right, I'm going on record and putting you down as Lakers in 5. Now, I'm going to ask you to put on your basketball hat for a second and say, and I know it's going to be hard for you, if Miami does have a chance, when they got that win in Game 3, what did you see that they did differently that they may have, found something that could be effective against the Lakers?
Honestly, it was Butler, man. Butler stepped up, and he literally said, I'm going to put this team on my back, and we're going to get this win today. And that's what he did. He actually outplayed LeBron in every column, if you look at it. That's never been done. But guess what? It ain't going to be done again.
Well, I appreciate that. So now, what did the Lakers not do in terms of what was working for them that they got away from in Game 3 that kind of had them come up short?
Rebounding.
Okay.
Miami was in there. They was in there Game 3. Miami, you got to look at the Lakers. The first 2 games, we killed Miami on the boards. Offensive rebounding. We killed them. Third game, they limited it. Guess what? Different outcome.
Right. So now I'm going to delve into a couple of different things. So first, the thing that I saw was I think that LeBron is, one of the 2 greatest players in the world. But I think that AD is the most special talent in basketball. What do I mean by that? There's no other player that can rebound at a high level, shot block at a high level, make mid-range shots, make 3-point shots, put the ball on the deck, post up at a high level, affect the game on offense and defense consistently with go-to moves like AD. The closest thing to him would be probably KD and LeBron. But I would give him the edge as a pure talent because LeBron doesn't post as well and probably shoot as well. It's probably close. And KD obviously doesn't post as well and not as good a defender. So he literally can switch 1 through 5, and I think he is the most versatile player in the NBA. So if I'm going down the stretch and I need a bucket, I'm putting the ball in LeBron's hands to make a play. But if I need a bucket for somebody to create their own shot, I think Anthony Davis is a better option for that. You know what I mean? Just because of what he can do. He can literally catch it on the 3, catch it on the block, catch it in the mid-post, go off the dribble, take a big on the wing, post a smaller guy. He's just a really gifted offensive player. So I think because if you look in the first 2 games, AD got off to a blistering start.
Absolutely.
Literally 6 for 7, 8 for 10, whatever he was, he set the tone.
Yeah, he set the tone.
And I think guys like Caldwell Pope and Danny Green and Caruso and Dwight Howard feed off of that.
Yeah.
And I've said to you and I've said to other people that the Lakers play better from ahead. When the Lakers play from behind and they have to execute in the half court, I think you expose a little bit of the Achilles heel because there aren't many players that can just go get it on their own.
Yeah, true.
I.e. Caldwell Pope, Danny Green, Caruso to a smaller extent. I think Markieff Morris can do it. And I think Rondo is this other X factor.
Absolutely. I was going to say that.
It's like he allows LeBron to not have so much responsibility all the time, right? He makes Dwight Howard a significant factor, right? He's constantly putting pressure on the rim, and Dwight Howard can get lobs, drop-offs, or even the beneficiary of a missed shot in the lane where he can offensive rebound because somebody's drawing the big who contest shots, and then he can crash the offensive boards. Mm-hmm. So I think Rondo's value gets understated, and I think he's probably one of the 5 most important players in the series.
Yes.
And I think that Miami made some mistakes in the first couple of games. I think, let me just go on record and say the Lakers are the better team on paper. But I think if you're going to compete, you got to really look at matchups and substitutions. So Olynyk didn't play in the first game hardly. If then he comes out and has 17, and then he has 19, or whatever his numbers were. Like, you're going to bring the big away from the basket. He's a legitimate shooting threat, and he can create some resistance and rim protection for Miami. So now that you found that, what if you get Bam and Dragic back?
Well, I think that's the reason why he's killing, because he's got more shots. You got 2 of your top 2 players that ain't playing right now.
Well, he didn't even play in the first game.
Yeah, no, but he's still in the NBA.
But I'm saying, so I guess my point is, as a coach, when you know you have that option of Olynyk, you don't even give him a look?
Why? They run everything through their big.
Yeah, man. I just felt like they were playing Duncan Robinson, who is primarily a shooter. He's a liability on D. If you looked at game 3, all they did was pick and roll to try to get LeBron on him going downhill because they know he couldn't stay in front, right? And it kept playing him. Now, if he's making shots and you trading 3 for 2, I get it. But they kept playing him, and he was 3 for 10. And here it is, you have Olynyk, who's had a high-level production, and you don't even give him a look in game 1. I thought that was a coaching mistake.
Yeah, definitely.
And then to a larger extent, in game 3, even though they pulled it out, they kept Duncan Robinson on the floor, and then you could see the Lakers' strategy. And I thought, because Jimmy Butler was looking to guard LeBron. He wanted LeBron on defense every time. And they were saying, like, we don't want LeBron working that hard going on Jimmy Butler. We're going to run screen and roll guard to guard, and we're going to force Duncan Robinson to guard. I thought they should have put Iguodala in at that point. You know what I mean? That would have been a better matchup. So either way, you're comfortable if you're Miami with them, you know what I mean, switching that pick and roll. So I'm going to ask you another question, Al. What do you think who's the X factor for game 4? Who's the X factor?
AD.
Okay. Well,
he didn't show up last game.
Okay, we think AD is, we think we know he's going to go 20 and 10 tonight. But give me somebody else that nobody's kind of looking for that you think can be effective because of how the series is being played. Who's not getting enough?
Well, he's proven it, Rondo.
Okay.
He's proven it. And so, you have to understand, as soon as he comes in the game, he changes the whole flow of the game because he's constantly pushing, and he understands that's his role. That's his job. Put the pressure on the defense. What does that do? Until that opens it up for LeBron. It opens it up for AD. So we're looking and we're seeing how he's connecting to AD for alley-oops and Dwight Howard. We see how he's getting bounce passes through the lane to LeBron. But that's only because they're already prepared for LeBron. Then when Rondo comes, oh, man, we forgot about this guy.
And then he's making threes.
That's crazy.
Then he turned into playoff Rondo. Then it's different.
Yeah, it's different. He started making threes. It's different.
let's just put one thing out there. We always talk about basketball. We always talk about the type of players we like. Let's just underscore the fact that Rondo's a dog.
Yeah.
Like he's a real point guard goon. Like I put him in the category seriously with like Chris Paul and Westbrook in terms of mentality. I ain't even talking about skill. I'm talking about mentality, right? Because there's a lot of talented guards. Kyrie, Kimba, those guys are talented, right? But you got a chance to see, and no slight, I love Kimba, but you got a chance to see in that playoffs, like the elite of the elite, like, you know what I mean? You compare you compare a Kimba to the Kyrie, and you know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's for the people to talk about. I'm not here to, I loved Kimba to death, but it's almost like you saw, like, you got to go out and get it on your own sometime. Like, that's what happened with the Lakers in Game 3. It's like, okay, Miami's prepared defensively. Now, who can go out and just get it on their own? Jimmy Butler, every time down, went out and got it on his own. This ain't a play. This ain't offense. This is my will against your will. How many times he can do that, I don't know. He says they in trouble. That was his words.
Yo, LeBron's gonna make him eat those words. LeBron be looking forward to people talking crap.
Yo, man. So can we just address the fact that Jimmy Butler is like a superstar?
Absolutely. We got to give him his credit now. I mean, a lot of people didn't really want to give him his props because I guess of what used to go on in the locker room. Right. But you can see clearly that man's an all-star.
Now, last point, L. I think the X factor for the Miami Heat is Tyler Hero. I think the ability to make shots, he can do it off the bounce. He can score in a bunch of different ways. And I feel like he gives them the offensive versatility where you can't key on Butler so much. Then if you have Bam in there to be on the offensive rebounds, to be a threat inside if they help, to finish around the rim. Hero, first of all, the look he gave Rondo after he and-1'd him was very disrespectful. That little snarl or whatever that was. But that said to me, like, I'm not a fluke. Like, watch me work, and it's whatever. I didn't know whether to, like, respect it or be like, yo, what you trying to do? Like, I just had to.
I love
it. But you in the – man, we talk about this all the time.
I loved it. Yo, Dawes, you have some players that are just who they are. Yeah. And then you have some players that sometimes needs a poke. LeBron's one of those players. You poke him, it's over.
You feel like he's going to come out super aggressive tonight?
Watch tonight. It's going to be a movie.
Well, Al, this is what I'm going to say. Big shout out to my man, Chuck Martin, assistant coach for University of South Carolina. We exchanged messages all game long, and I know he's probably tired of me right now. And just talking about strategy, him from a coaching perspective, and it's fun to just be able to understand how a coach thinks of it. And because he has so much respect for Spoelstra, and here it is me being critical, he's like, yo, E, you don't see the whole picture. Like, I understand. He talking to me like I'm a fan. That's my guy, though. That's a big bro. But, definitely excited to see what is now a series, seeing if Bam and Dragic will be available. And if so, does that help or hurt Miami? We didn't even talk about that because they won without him.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure. You'll have your popcorn ready, and I'll make sure I don't call you.
Appreciate you.
Yo, man, always a pleasure sharing insight, talking NBA Finals. It's Bubble. Check it out. ABC tonight. It's going to be a good game, man. We signing out. E. Jones.
You already know, Black Elvis.
Yo, big shout out to G. Jones, Jerry Ice, the whole City Legends fam. Everybody from bottom to the top, hoops. Big shout out. Check us out. Over 10,000 subscribers. On the way to 11,000. YouTube, Spotify, Apple TV. Who you shouting out, Hell?
Shout out to God.
Say less, man.